Okay, good morning. So in the last two sessions, we have discussed some of the long base constructs and conventions in the Verilog. Okay, today also we'll continue the same thing. We have some more constructs and conventions. Okay, so for today's session also, I have referred this textbook for my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, now let us start the session. So next one is parameters. So parameters are constants typically used to specify the width of variables and time delays. Okay, now we'll see the example. Parameter word underscore size equal to 16. That means we are mentioning the word size as a 16 by using this parameter. Okay, so this is the next subsequent statement. Factor equal to word underscore size by 2. Here word size how much we have mentioned? 16. That 16 it will take and it will substitute 16 by 2. That gives 8. Now 8 is assigned to factor. Next parameter mem underscore size equal to 256. That means we have defined this mem size as 256 by using the parameter. Okay. Now such parameter assignments are made at compiler time. Okay. The parameter values cannot be changed at runtime. Okay. Where we have to give these assignments at compiler time, but we cannot change these values at runtime. Okay, the def param statement can modify parameters only at the time of compilation. So that means during compiler time these assignments can be made, but during runtime we cannot change the values of parameters. Okay, but we can modify the values of the parameters by using def param statement. Okay, at what time? At the time of compilation only, at the time of compilation. Okay, next, what is the next thing? Memory. Now how we declare the memory? Now this is the example. Okay, now what it means? Reg 15 colon 0, that means the width is 16 bit 0 to 15. Next memory, and again vector notation, that is 0 to 511, that is 512. Now what this type of declaration gives the information? That the memory is having representing, we are representing the memory as 512 locations, and each location is how much? 16 bit wide. Okay, now this type of declaration gives the information about the memory which is having 512 locations and each location is of 16 bit wide. Okay, now so the value of any chosen location can be assigned to a selected register or vice versa. That means whatever the value that is available inside the register, that can be written into the memory by using memory write operation. Okay, and whatever the value that is stored inside the memory can be read into the register, that is memory read operation. Okay, that means a value from register can be entered into the memory using memory write, and the value in the memory can be read from the memory into the register using memory read. Okay, so this constitutes nothing but memory reading or writing. Okay, now consider another assignment statement, that is b is equal to mem some brackets p minus q by 2. Okay, so at this instant let us assume p minus q gives the 6. Okay, now what happens? Since p minus q is the 6, 6 by 2 gives the 3. 6 by 2 gives the 3. So mem of 3 means, mem of 3 means that is the third location of memory. That means whatever the data that is present at the third location of the memory, that data is copied to B. The data is copied to B. Okay, now take another example. I will take p minus q as 16. If p minus q equal to 16, then it becomes 16 by 2. That means 8. Then it becomes mem of 8. That means 8th location of memory. So whatever the data that is present inside the 8th location of the memory, that data is copied to B. Okay. So like this, we can also give the representation. Okay. Next. Next one, system tasks. This is the last one. Okay, system task. So already we have discussed about the system tasks in the previous sessions. Okay, always this system task definition should be initiated with dollar sign. Yes or no? Dollar sign. Okay, now let us see these points once again. So during the simulation of any design, a number of activities are to be carried out to monitor and control simulation. Okay, so in order to monitor the simulation, in order to control the simulation, we'll perform several activities that can be done by using the system tasks. Okay, so a number of such tasks are provided and available in the Verilog. Okay, now some other tasks serve other functions also. Okay, now the dollar symbol identifies a system task. Now what is the format? Dollar keyword. Dollar keyword. Now let us see one by one. So what is the first thing? Dollar display. Dollar display. So what this will do? When the system encounters this task, the specified items are displayed in the formats specified and the system advances to a new line. Okay, once again, so whenever the system encounters this task, dollar display, the specified items are displayed in the formats specified and the system advances to a new line. Okay, that means whatever the text or format you have specified in the dollar display statement, the same thing will be displayed on the screen. Okay, and the system advances to the second line, new line. Okay, now let us see with example. Now what is this one? Dollar display within brackets some quotes, this ends with a new line. Okay, so whenever the system encounters this task, after execution what we will get? We'll get on the screen as this ends with a new line. Okay, so whenever it is executed, we will get this message, this ends with a new line on the screen. Okay. Next one, dollar display, same thing. Okay, so here whatever the string that appears inside this quotes, that will be displayed as it is on the screen. Yes or no? So what is the text we have given here inside the quotes? The value of a is colon a equal to some percent d. This is nothing but format specifier. Format specifier. Percent d means decimal. Okay, so the same thing appearing here in the output. Just you observe, the value of a is colon a equal to, the same thing, the value of a is colon a equal to. But what is this thing? Format specifier. So whatever the value that is present inside this variable, okay, that is displayed in the form of a decimal number. Okay, once again, whatever the value that is present inside this a, that is displayed in the format of decimal number. So like this, 3.5. This is a decimal number. Okay, like this, the dollar display statement will be used. So whatever the text you give, whatever the format you specify inside the dollar display statement, the same thing will be displayed on the screen. Okay, and the system advances to a new line. Okay, next, dollar monitor. Okay, so what this dollar monitor will do? So the dollar monitor task monitors the variables which are specified whenever any one of those specified changes. Okay, that means in the previous case, we have observed the value stored in the variable a is 3.5. This one, 3.5. Okay, so due to some statements, if the a value is changed to 5, okay, so initially the value is 3.5. Based upon some operations, a value is changed to 5. Okay, Now, based on some other operations, now A value is changed to 8. Now, again, based on some operations, now A value is changed to 10. Now, how many times the A value has been changed? Initially, A value is 3.5. It is changed to 5. It is changed to 8. It is changed to 10. How many times? 3 times A value has been changed. Okay. So, for every change of this A variable, for every change of this A variable, whatever the value that is changed, the same thing will be displayed on the screen. Okay, so initially a value 3.5, it is displayed by using dollar display. So whenever it is changed from 3.5 to 5, that will be displayed. Whenever it is changed from 5 to 8, it will be displayed. Whenever it is changed from 8 to 10, it will be displayed. That means for every occurrence of change in the variable A, that will be displayed on the screen. That is the use of this dollar monitor. It always keep track of the change of the A variable. Okay, but dollar display is not like that. So whatever the statement you given in the dollar display, that will be executed at that time only. Okay, so whatever the value that is present in the A at that instant, that will be displayed. That's all. Okay, but in case of dollar monitor, how many times the A has been changed to the new value, the new values are always displayed on the screen. That is the basic difference between dollar display and dollar monitor. Okay, okay, so dollar display you have to use more number of times maybe inside the program in order to get display of A. A is 3.5, A is 5, A is 8, A is 10. Every time you have to use the dollar display statement whether the A has been changed or not. But whereas in case of dollar monitor, you just specify once in the program. Then whenever A value changes, it will display. Okay, that is the difference between dollar display and dollar monitor. Okay. Now just read out the statements. During running of the program, the monitor task is invoked and the concerned quantity is displayed whenever any one of these changes. Okay, now following this, the system advances to the next line. So a monitor statement need appear only once in a simulation program. So all the quantities specified in it are continuously monitored. Okay, now in contrast, the dollar display command displays the quantities concerned only once. Okay, just what I have said. That is when the specific line is encountered during execution. Okay, this is what I have said now. Okay, did you understand what is the difference between dollar display and dollar monitor? Okay, next. Now the same example I have taken. So here dollar display, the value of A is colon A equal to some format specified D and A. The same example I have taken. Yes or no? Same example. But what is the difference? It will display the value of A at that particular instant only. It will display the value of A whenever the value has been changed. That is from 3.5 to 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 10 in our example. Okay? Now, so with the task, whenever the value of A changes during execution of a program, its new value is printed according to the format specified. Okay, so thus if the value of A changes to 2.4 at any time during execution of the program, we get the following display on the monitor, that is A is equal to 2.5. Okay, previously it is 3.5. Suppose if it is changed to 2.5 at all times inside the program, then dollar monitor will give you the display as A equal to 2.4. Okay, this is about the dollar monitor. Next, last one, the tasks for control of simulation. Now, you'll see what are the tasks available for controlling the simulation. Okay, so we have two tasks, that is dollar finish, dollar stop. Now, dollar finish. So, whenever this task is encountered, it exits the simulation. That means it will come out from the simulation. Okay, that is the control is reverted to the operating system. That means the control is come back to the OS, operating system. Okay, normally the simulation time and location are also printed out by default as part of the exit operation. Okay, so whenever we use this dollar finish, what it will do, it will exit the simulation, it will go back to the OS operating system, reverted to the operating system, control is reverted to the operating system. Okay, and next the simulation time and location will be printed by default whenever we are going to exit from the simulation. Okay, next one, last one, dollar stop. So what it does, this task suspends simulation, it suspends simulation. Okay, so if necessary the simulation can be resumed by user intervention. Okay, so if you give the dollar stop, it will just suspend the simulation. If you want to resume the simulation, you have to enter some commands, that is the user intervention. Okay, that means with the stop task, the simulator is an interactive mode. Interactive mode. That is the difference between dollar finish, dollar stop. Okay. So dollar finish means just exit the simulation and reverted to OS. Dollar stop means just suspend simulation. If you want to resume, you can resume. That simulation, the task enters into the user interactive mode. Okay. So with this, we have completed the tasks system task, and also have completed all the long base constructs and conventions which are used in the Verilog. Okay, so what we have discussed in the today's class, so we have discussed about the parameters. Okay, next memory, next system tasks. Okay, so by today we have completed the first unit, part 1 and part 2. Okay, so in the next coming days, that means in the next class I will start the second unit, that is the gate level modeling. Okay, okay, thank you, have a nice day.